My name is Rosaria Vavassori. I am from Italy. I'm a doctor in physics and electronic engineering with a specialization in computer science. I have been involved in AHC since the birth of my son, Alberto. He is 21 years old now, and when he was born, he immediately started to have many neurological symptoms, and all the doctors at the hospital couldn't understand the origin, the cause of these symptoms. And we parents immediately had to start fighting for against all the doctors. None of them knew anything about the disease. They were all of them were sure that it was epilepsy. They wanted to treat my son with anti-epileptic drugs, but we parents weren't absolutely convinced of this diagnosis, and we immediately start to look for other centers, for other doctors. And it was terrible for me, for my husband, because no doctors were available to listen to us parents. Okay, none of them believed in what we were saying when we were describing the symptoms of our son. And finally, we managed to find a doctor, a neurologist, that finally listened to us parents and made the right diagnosis. Alberto was 4 years old then, and soon after the diagnosis, when we heard for the first time the name of the disease, alternating hemiplegia of childhood, it was completely a revolution for us. And I immediately started to look for further news, further information about this disease. I discovered that it was a very rare disease. No doctors, no neurologists, clinicians knew anything about the disease. And but I immediately found on internet at those time, 15 years ago. Internet was available only at my workplace, and I immediately started to look for information on internet and found the website of the American Association and of the French Association. So it was really a fantastic achievement for me to be able to talk with another parent, someone who really could understand my problems, my difficulties, my feelings, and who believed me. And immediately I had the idea to create an association because it was the only way, according to me, it was the only way to have doctors, to inform the doctors about this disease, and to involve the research, because I realized that immediately that there was no research at all for this disease, so there was no hope for my son to eventually have a treatment for his disease. So the only hope for him and for us parents was exactly to have to look for researchers that could have been interested in the study of our disease. It was not easy because exactly it's a very rare disease, it's a very complex disease, but the first step was, and exactly because of this reason, the first step was exactly to create an association, to have more families working together and spreading the news about the disease, raising the awareness, raising funds to give money to the very few researchers that were able. So immediately we started with the Italian association, but immediately in collaboration, in contact with the other association, first of all the French association, then the American association, and we managed to involve some clinicians. We created in Italy, for the Italian Association AHCIM, we created a scientific committee, and we managed to launch the first study, very small studies about AHC. And in 15 years, fortunately, the community, the AHC international community has increased a lot, many new patient associations in each country in Europe, many researchers, many clinicians involved in the study of AHC. And finally, 2 years ago, there was the main discovery, the main finding, the main result from the research. This kind of research, that was exactly the discovery of the gene causing responsible of AHC. And after this discovery, many more researchers came in, were involved, and also very new kind of researchers, not only clinicians, not only geneticists, but also molecular biologists and molecular researchers. And each of them with many new ideas, many new proposal of many new study to carry out, to progress with the research, to starting from the knowledge of the genetic cause of the disease, to translate this kind of knowledge into a possible effective drug for AHC. There is still a lot of work to do, and there are many researchers willing to do this work. So now I added this new idea of the International Consortium for the Research on AHC, which is a consortium composed of clinical centers and research labs in every part of the world. It's an open consortium, it's an open network. Every new research center, clinical center interested in doing research on HC can be part of the consortium. The original idea of this consortium started with the first research, collaborative research, exactly, that led to the discovery, to the confirmation of the gene responsible of the disease. Now the consortium is involved, is carrying out, the members of the consortium are carrying out several other studies, collaborative studies, both clinical, for example, the study of the genotype-phenotype correlation in HC, other clinical studies are the study about the heart disturbances in HC, characteristic of HC, that is led by the English group at the University College of London. The genotype-phenotype correlation study is led by the French group at the Civil Hospital in Lyon. And there are other genetic studies, such as the search for the secondary gene responsible of HC, that is led by the Dutch group in Leiden. And now many more new study of a new kind of study, the so-called functional study, have been launched, and so we have to in the consortium we are going to create this new work group to carry out these new studies as a further step towards the final goal to have an effective drug for our disease, for my children, for my child, Alberto, and for all the children, the HC children in the world. So that's my work at the moment as a coordination, management, and technical support to the activity of this consortium. That, as I said, is gathering clinical center and research labs in the USA, in Europe, and in Australia, and to provide them the technical support and the logistical support, mainly in the data collection and in the sharing of the data and of the research information for very large collaborative studies. The best way to have more people involved, exactly, to create opportunities of meeting for the researcher to meet, to share their ideas, their information, their own information. For example, the symposium, to have them to talk, okay, and exactly another great important feature of this consortium is exactly to provide the logistical support to have these researchers to talk between each other and to share data, information, and to get used to work together, and to develop in this way the mutual trust, because at the basis of the collaboration is the mutual trust. Okay, So we provide an organizational framework, okay, with some specific rules so that the researchers can work safely and can be trustful that their work will be properly acknowledged and used for the correct way and for the correct objectives. Yes, as many more research. This has always been my main objective, to have as many researchers as possible involved in the study of the disease of my son. Each new researcher that I can involve, it's one more hope for my son and for all the AHC children. One more possibility they all have to have a cure for their disease. So as many researchers as possible. All the researchers. The consortium is has just been created, okay? Of course, we must spread the news about this consortium. We must basically, this is I think that it's up to the researchers at the end to decide with which partner they want, they can collaborate, okay? As a support team or as a patient organization supporting wanting to support the research, according to me, we can just, the best way to promote the collaborative research is just to create opportunities for the researchers to know each other, to get used to each other, to develop a mutual trust, but we can't absolutely oblige any researcher to work with another researcher, to collaborate. It's entirely up to them. So we must provide the information. Okay, look, there is this opportunity, this possibility of the consortium. If you want to join the consortium, you are absolutely welcome. Okay, if you don't want, okay, it's good in the same way. If you want to go on to study to do research on AHC by yourself or with other researcher, for us it is absolutely okay in the same way. And if you need my help, our help, the patient support, we are ready to provide it to you in the same way. The consortium, I think, is just an opportunity and a more comfortable way and effective way to carry out a collaborative research, because I provide all the organizational framework, all the support, the technical support, okay, but it is entirely up to each researcher to decide to participate, to be a member of the consortium, and to collaborate with the other member. According to me, in this symposium, I am very happy to participate in this symposium, because this third symposium, but also the previous editions in Rome last year, in Brussels last year, according to me, all the researchers have really demonstrated they're willing to collaborate, okay? All they need is just an help to get organized, okay? Because working by yourself, you can work by yourself, and in some way it's easier if you have all the resources on your own. Working with the other, sharing the resources, according to me, is surely more effective, but it's more difficult to get organized, okay, to organize the work in collaboration. So the consortium exactly provide this tool, this organizational and technical tool to help the researcher to work together in a more effective way.